And this is probably where my fucked up comes in, is I would just be like, all right, we're just gonna keep this going and see how far we can get until he's gonna either leave or shoot me in the parking lot. But
right.
And I'd rather take on this guy that, because I know I can take him pretty easily. And he quit, and I was like, oh yeah, well of course he does, because he can't take the long-term ego bruise. There's a lot of different personalities and different socioeconomic ladders, different backgrounds. So it's just what I love about it. But there is like a feralness to it.
Yeah. You straight from the south side. Mike, I'm just so happy to be here right now. Real Rap Podcast.
They're an eye-opener. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are back. Another episode of Real Rap Podcast. If you've been tuned in lately, you know that I don't remember the number that we're on. I'm going to guess 58. Could be right, could be wrong. We have esteemed colleague, extraordinary comedian, type 1 personality, and just an overall awesome guy, Nick Emeka. If you could say hi to all the folks.
Hello.
Yeah, not his first rodeo, so we're going to hop right back into the conversation that we were having. As per usual, we've been talking for the last 3.5 hours, so you guys just catch up. I do want to start off. What is your take on Raja Jackson?
Oh.
The incident.
Yeah, that's the videos afterwards of him just being like, my bad, that.
The amount of accountability he is not taking is shocking.
He nearly killed the guy this was like a WWE ring. It wasn't even real MMA, and it sounded like there was like a miscommunication. I haven't seen like all the footage, but
I watched a decent amount of it, and in my opinion, when you really drill it down, bro, all those 22 strikes to an unconscious person, I believe, something like that. But at the end of the day, I think every single one of those punches was to his dad's face. It just so happened to be this guy was the one catching him.
Yeah, I can't. Dude.
Because it was, because I had actually seen, because we're both into that kind of stuff, so I'm sure your timeline has a little crossover to my timeline, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think like 3 days prior to that, he got concussed in a spar by like a tornado kick or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So he's chilling on a concussion. Like, he legitimately got his bell rocked. And I think he's a streamer, right? On top of that. So he got it on his stream. And you know what anybody's comment section is going to look like if something embarrassing happens to you.
Yeah.
Let alone, Rampage Jackson is a top-tier troll. And not only is he a top-tier troll, he's a 225 retired Hall of Fame heavyweight UFC mixed martial arts champion troll who has a firstborn son who I think he probably punches his hugs into his chest.
Yeah.
Like, whatever level of affection this kid's grown up with. From assuming a very young age, Rampage has been raising him up and just raising him up. He was raising this kid like he was going to be one of the 300 Spartans, bro.
Jesus.
I'd imagine. I wasn't in their household when they were growing up, but you can see him troll his son. Yeah, constantly, and he's even talked like, I've kicked my son's butt. I had to lay him out, send him to the hospital a little bit. He got out of. So you're getting trolled by your pop on the internet. Yeah, on a regular basis, right? And your pop is immensely popular, and you're trying to live in you're trying to make a name for yourself in your dad's shadow. Yeah. Already, that's the worst. Then, in short succession, you get concussed on camera. You're getting trolled by your dad and by your comment section. Yeah. Then you show up to this event, And right out the gate, some dude, bless his heart, he was just on the clock, and he decides to smack you in the face with a beer can on your stream that remembers 3 days ago you just got mollywopped in a sparring session.
Yeah.
Now your comment section is going bananas. And then some dude says, hey, just go in the ring and get your receipt after. This is in no way admonishing him or nothing like that, because what he did, he was backhanded. He didn't even face the dude. Like he caught him from behind. And picked him up.
I saw that.
And then whipped his head on the ground, which is already that's curtains. And then just gave him 23 concussions in a row.
Damn.
And then had no remorse.
Yeah. Dude, I think we're gonna find out a lot more about concussions and like traumatic brain injuries in the future, and just gonna be like, oh no, we probably shouldn't play football. We probably shouldn't like let people do things shortly after being concussed. You know, because it's. I mean, I was lucky enough to not have concussions in high school, even though I played football. And I got my bell rung a decent amount before when I was training MMA, but I've been pretty safe. But I do have brain damage from a car accident, and shit's just different. And like it's different for everybody, because how your brain receives trauma is different. So like, there's a good chance he just was running on feelings alone and wasn't thinking. I mean, fuck. So I also don't admire. I don't think what he did was right. It's fucked up, but it's also like just an unfortunate chain of events.
It was, and he's not. Rampage has been must be behind the scenes right now, moonwalking like Michael Jackson on highlighted floors, because he has nothing's come out of it as of yet. And there's no pieces of the puzzle missing, so I'm assuming that Buddy's just gonna get a very decent check coming to him, and then come out with this whatever. He's probably in that because he doesn't even know what solar system he's in right now. He's still piecing everything together.
He's barely woke up, I think. Fucking.
Oh my gosh, yeah, But I've met those people, and maybe you could speak to it on the gym too. And it's not even just fighters that I've met that are like that. There's certain personality types that can feed into their emotions and let it build off just emotions. And anger is definitely one of the most powerful ones I've ever seen. Where somebody gets angry, like my anger is on a roller coaster. Yeah. There are some people whose anger is on an Elon Musk rocket ship. And it just, once it starts, there is no turning it off until it burns out. It's not going to slow down. It's just going to explode.
Yeah.
Like once they get going, it's like, and they can keep getting themselves. They don't necessarily know how to process that emotion effectively enough to get rid of it. And I mean, that seems like one of those, he might have some of those kinds of traits. To speak back on what you was talking about, though, too, it is more difficult the more we know now about CTE and concussions and what it does to you, brain swelling and the deterioration and everything that happens from all those knocks to the head, football, boxing, MMA, what have you. And who was it? Chris Benoit or whatever, and WWF.
Yeah.
He went up, and countless others.
Oh. Yeah.
But at the same time, like, not at least with MMA and in these days in the 2000s, you have to think most of the people that are involved in these sports are there for the most part because they want to be. Back in the Coliseum days when you had Greek and Roman, you're Greek, right?
No.
Emeka?
Emeka. It's so it's my middle name, which is my godfather, who's Nigerian. So Yeah.
Get out of town. So you're closer to African than you are European.
No, so this is a long story and not that interesting, but
that's literally why we're here. For long, not that interesting stories.
Hell yeah. So, so my parents are, my dad's side is Eastern European Jew, and my mom's side is Irish Catholic and Italian Catholic. And my dad went to UC Berkeley, and his best friend at UC Berkeley was from Nigeria. And tragically died before I was born.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they gave me the middle name Emeka, and when I started comedy, it sounded a lot better than Simonelli Green on a bill. So and also, it's just I feel like one way to keep people's memories alive is give them prominence. So.
Hell yeah, that's dope. I lost my train of thought, which is perfect because I want to ask, what should people know? So you are a trained killer.
A little bit.
So 90 to 93% of the people that you walk by on a day-to-day basis have no idea that you could take them out in under 2 minutes whenever you feel like it. And you carry yourself as, for the most part, the way I've seen a lot of people that train, which is you're just confident, and chances are you're gonna try your absolute hardest to walk away from a situation without even going, like, without pulling out pictures of you holding trophies or belts. You're just gonna be like, oh hey, my bad. I know you just spilled ketchup on my favorite shirt, but it must have been my fault. Sorry about that. Take it easy. I'm going this direction. And you just pray that you don't have to actually turn that switch on.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that I've ever met that are highly trained and look like Poindexter. They look like certified accountants that nobody would care about. And the whole time, they could really ruin your day, month, life.
Yeah.
Change you as a person.
Yeah.
And is there a responsibility that you feel? What is like the worst case scenario that you've seen from trained people to the best case scenario?
As far as what exactly?
Like I've seen the extremes to where it's like, I don't like that personality on that person that I know is training and learning how to perfect hurting people. Because he's probably going to do something bad with this information. And I've seen the people that are just walk around. They have this, in them. Yeah. And push comes to shove, they can get, like you see it like, oh, that guy does run with the wolves. But most of the time they're just like, meh. Yeah. Do you see more of the people that are well adjusted with this ability, or do you see people where it's like they're just holding the Hulk from coming out?
I mean, I think there's a calming effect for a lot of people. For most people, I would say that training, it gives you a confidence and it releases endorphins and kind of calms those day-to-day nerves to where, like, you're driving home from practice and somebody cuts you off, you don't care, you're tired, your arms are noodles, like, fucking let this jackass be a jackass. But if you do that drive like an hour and a half earlier before you do that, you're like, I fuck this person, yeah. But like, I think that doing that over and over again and realizing like what's really worth, putting your safety at risk over time. And I think people that understand sort of where they are in relation to where anybody else could be on the like spectrum of dangerousness knows that like you don't need to put yourself in unwarranted situations. I have seen, the worst. I mean, the worst example that I have is we had a guy who was one of the top top up and coming guys at 170. He fought in, I don't know, do you know LFA? It's like a feeder to the UFC. It's kind of
not off the top of my head, no.
So this is big enough to be like you're getting recognized and short list to be. And so he was the number one 170 pounder,
which is a ferocious division.
Yeah, like 6'2", just marksman with his fucking with his legs. He could just I remember they brought in this Samoan heavyweight to spar with him.
6'2", 170. That's Izzy.
Yeah, he was it. And so this is early days. We still had a cage, and so they were in the cage, and they're sparring, and we're jiu-jitsu classes is going on. So and some people are kind of watching in between. This is towards the end of it, and you just hear a crack. And you see a 270-pound dude take a head kick out just against the fence. And you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Turns out, so his wife worked the front desk. And I don't know what happened, but he beat her to the within an inch of her death, and fucking haven't seen him since. Haven't seen him. He did. I mean,
wait. So the 6'2", 170 cracked the heavyweight, and then went and cracked his wife.
Not in sequence, but that's just to give you a picture of like what he could do, and it came to light that he was just fucking wailing on this 110-pound woman, and I think he got deported. But it was just one of those things where it's like, holy shit, like that. And like you didn't see it because, you know, the more you train, the more you kind of control, especially the people that have that like.
Yeah.
They like control it, but it was one of those things where you want to throw up. It makes me sick just thinking about it. So I mean, I do think for the vast majority of people, getting in and regularly like using their body in a way that's like, all right, I'm learning how to like. Do cool stuff with it. It makes you so much calmer.
A lot calmer a majority of the time. Now, there are definitely people that get into it for the sport. There are people that their parents involve them in it for exactly that, the confidence, the self reliance, you know, you name it, just the sport of it. Hey, get out of my hair. Go do something after school aspect. And then some people do it as a response. They'll get themselves into it maybe as a response to how they grew up. Or you grew up in an aggressive scenario, and this is where you have to, you know, go let that steam out. Did you get into it for like one of the standard reasons, or did you just find yourself into it? Was it handed down? Or?
No. So I like I said, I wrestled it in high school. I was 115 the first year I wrestled. And I was just it was something that I was terrible at, and like I fixate on things. So I was like, I'm not gonna be terrible. And so by my end senior year, I think I was like 18 and 420 and 4. And I wanted to keep doing it, so I did it in junior college, and I was like, all right, well, like I want to keep doing something. And I had thought about like doing MMA before, and when I graduated college and I got like I was just kind of when you like get out of school for the first time, you're like, well, what do I do with life? And you kind of, I was in Phoenix, Arizona, so I didn't really have much of a community. So I was like, fuck it, let's throw some hands, let's bang.
Sure, yeah.
And I realized pretty quickly that coming in to work with black guys, it was not something they liked seeing.
Just a barista, missing tooth black guy.
Yeah, they're like, please stop. So I was like, all right, fine. So I switched over to jiu-jitsu, and that was.
So no black eyes, but you are limping to the coffee machine.
Yeah, but people don't pick up on that as much. Yeah, so it's been, I think I started in like 2016, 2017, so 8-9 years. A brown belt, and it's, Which, perhaps for the folks that don't practice at all or pay attention, a brown belt on the street to the average everyday American means you last maybe... It could be less than a complete minute if you get a high crotch and then just dump them on the front of their neck. Yeah.
And if they happen to live through that, then
it's not. Yeah, I like.
And the thing is, you don't even know that you're departing the world. When you're getting choked out, you're sitting there and everything's one way, and the next thing you know, you're thinking about pink kittens on shiny clouds.
Oh yeah.
And then you wake up and you're like, wow, that was a great night's sleep at my house. And wait, what? What am I wearing? Where am I at? Why are my feet in the air? I just got 8 hours of sleep. I had 3 dreams.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I've been out for 30 seconds because Nick Emeka choked me out. Okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. It's wild.
Give me a few moments. Let me remember. Let me remember what happened today.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much how it would go. Yeah.
Have you ever been separated from your consciousness in the gym?
Yeah. I remember my friend Juan, who's now a black belt. He's like 125 pounds, which if you don't, I'm like 200 right now. At the time, I was training around 170, 175, and I came in with college wrestling experience, so I was pretty fucking strong.
Yeah.
And he's this little blue belt, and we're doing gi, and I'm hyper aggressive little white belt, just like trying to show somebody like a higher rank that I can do something.
Yeah.
And there's something in jiu-jitsu called a baseball choke, which where you grab the lapel, because you're in the big heavy kimono gi. You grab the lapel on one side and you grab it on the other side, and you turn away from them. So it feels like they are giving up their back to you, and you're like, oh, this is great. I'm just going to go choke. But what's happening is that they're actually just tightening your collar around your neck and pressing their knuckles into your throat out like that.
Yeah. That's a blood choke.
Yep. It was just woke up people with my legs in their hands just going, oh, you got out, buddy.
Yeah. Man, my first day at Redovic, I went to the basement. It was on Michigan, right near 1-2 Prue. They used to have a spot in the basement across the street from the Fox News station. And as soon as I get into the basement, like I'm going there, I just, this is my first day going there to train in Chicago, but I had been there, the day before or whatever to sign up. And I get in there, and as soon as I get to the basement, bro, some dude, white belts, they were all free rolling, and some white belt to another white belt. They must have just drilled it. was doing omoplata, and the guy with his arm cranked didn't roll. And so he just blew his elbow out. That's me walking through the door. Snap, pop. And then it was like, all right, guys. And like some people stopped rolling, but not everybody. And then the professor was like, all right, hey, we're gonna call the ambulance. Go sit over there. And the kid just sat with a non-working arm against the wall, waiting for the ambulance to get there. And then I walk in. All right, hey, go over there. We're gonna start doing stretches, this, that, and the next class started. And that was my introduction.
It's so normal. It's not normal anywhere else.
Not normal anywhere else. No. Do you see parallels between fighting and comedy?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think there's so much that you learn from like something that has the depth of like skill development and sort of finding your way to your own style, understanding like how to break down things in ways that make sense that can be applied. And I mean, just the stick-to-itiveness to like be good at a sport. Comedy is so much easier because you're just getting on stage. No one's like, all right, well, in order to be any good at this, you're gonna have to lift weights in the morning and run at night. I was like, no, you're just gonna sit in a bar. Okay, well, I can keep doing that. But like for me, just the attention to understanding the details and the not giving up even if things go badly. That I feel like put me light years ahead of like the next open micer when I was first starting out. Because I was like, oh, like I know if I just keep kind of making small changes and understanding, then I will get closer. And by the time that I put in, 1,000 reps, I'll have figured some things out.
Right. UFC 319, you watched it?
I did.
Hamzat. So right off, basically back-to-back spinning elbow knockouts. An amazing undercard. Yeah. The entire night's fights. There was some heartbreakers in there. I like that kid from Japan, but he got laid out. It is what it is, you know. Yeah. And some other folks I probably would have lost if I was a gambler. Hamzat Chimaev, Dricus du Plessis. Yep. Again, if I was a gambler, had my money on Dricus. And I shouldn't have, because Hamzat did everything that everybody knew he was going to do. The same exact thing, for the most part, that he's done in all of his most recent fights. Yeah. Which is just blanket smother the person. Had him in, controlled his back the whole time, put him in a crucifix however many times, and then just gave him little pity pats
for 25 minutes.
Little love taps with a smile and a wink. Yep. And he kept, which I thought was kind of genius mental warfare. He kept like giving them like a fist bump and everything, like they were sparring, like they was like it was just a training day. Like, hey, gotcha again. Guess what's happening next round, pal? Yeah. Wink, wink. Oh, and came out and did it again, because that's the same thing Hamzat did against Kevin Holland, which I thought was going to be a way more entertaining fight, but he came out and Kevin Holland, not directly in an offensive way, whatever, but Kevin Holland went to extend his hand for like a high five to start the match, and as soon as he did that, Hamzat just went for the single leg. Yep. And it was a wrap after that. But yeah, he just smothered Dricus until the last half of the last round, and then Dricus had still some energy left to kind of turn the tables, but it was a wrap after that. Yeah. How did you feel about that? Because for the most part, I think people who the casuals don't watch it, because when it goes to the ground, you don't know what's going on. I don't watch hockey. I don't watch soccer. I don't watch cricket because I don't understand the rules. Yeah. So I can't appreciate all the little nuance and the little things that are making this beautiful. Yeah. for me to stay interested unless there's somebody scoring a goal. That's the only time I'm interested, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the same for people that watch MMA. If you don't understand what's going on the ground, like I see, all right, he's trying to pass, he's trying to sweep, oh, he's going for the this, that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Even though I know what I'm looking at, I was still like, I'm like, you're fighting kind of scared right now, bro.
Yeah.
You look a little scared, bro.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when all the chips are, you know, that was his first title fight. And I think he just wanted as close to bulletproof game plan as possible.
Fair enough.
And you know, he executed flawlessly. I was surprised that Duplessis got out of multiple crucifixes, because I think if Hamzat had thrown maybe 4 or 5 good hard punches in those crucifix situations, he could have
some elbow strikes.
Yeah. But I don't think he wanted to give up the control. And I mean, I think when you look at the way that Hamzat fights, like, he is a control first kind of guy foremost, and you know, he's like a straitjacket. He's the heaviest human being for that weight class, because he can just hang on you and make you carry him for 25 minutes, which is what he did. I mean, does it make for an entertaining fight to watch? Not particularly. No. Even, like, I appreciate what he was able to do, but you know, you want to see some parity, or you want to get him out of there onto the next.
Maybe, what was it, 2 years ago? The entire UFC was controlled by Africans. Mm-hmm. Right? You had Kamaru, you had Izzy, and you had Ngannou.
Yep.
And now the entire UFC is controlled by Russians. Yeah. And not even like Russians, like Russians from one particular place on the map, which has to be the scariest place in the world to grow up.
God, there's no, yeah. I remember when they first started getting Dagestanis into the US, it would be like,
even that name sounds like a weapon. The name of your city sounds like a weapon in the year 4720.
I mean, it's gotta stand for something. Yeah, I remember I watched a little like documentary on Dagestan, and they like fought off the Turks, like when they were just like, they fought off the Ottoman Empire. It's just like this tiny nation. They're just like, nah,
with double legs.
Yeah, they were. I mean, you can't not. I would never want to go there ever at all. No reason.
No. One of the most chilling things I've ever seen in my entire life, real life, on video, on my phone, violence, non-violence. One of the most chilling things. 2 things, and they both pertain to the UFC. The first one being John Jones, Daniel Cormier, the first one, when they were in the thing and they didn't know the camera was on, and Cormier was like, I wish I was by you right now, I'd come spit in your face. And John like looked at the door to see if anybody was watching, and then like looked and he said, you know I would absolutely kill you if you did something like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I didn't say I would fight you. I said I would kill you. And he meant it.
Yeah.
Like, he meant it. And then number 2 is when Khabib was doing the location, and he was drained because he was still, he was trying to drop his weight for the fight and all that stuff. But when he was like, send me location. Send location. We don't need guards. We don't need friends. We don't send me location. I will be there.
Yeah. The ring is a formality. What?
So I'm a regular comedian in Chicago. I'm 135 to 185 pounds. I don't work out all that much. I'm just a regular, average, everyday. You have 10 minutes to train me. I'm about to get into a bar fight. What in 10 minutes from all of your knowledge, MMA, wrestling, and jits, what are you giving somebody? You have no time to train them. 10 minutes, bar fight. What are you telling somebody to do?
And this is a scenario where just getting the fuck out isn't an option, cause
Just getting out is not currently an option.
I mean, I would say, you.
By the way, getting out is the only option. Street fights are horrendous. They're the worst thing ever.
Like, if you have no other recourse, your back's against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying wait for the first punch, slip it, and go straight for a double leg and try and fucking choke that motherfucker out as best you can.
All things that take years of training to master.
I mean, yes, but slipping a punch, if you know it's coming, people see this as like they know the haymaker. They don't know how to throw a jab.
Yeah,
So
well, distance management is one of the things you pick up in training that's crucial, because you don't even. I don't think the layman necessarily knows you're in striking distance.
Yeah.
Or when you're in striking distance, or if you're in the right distance to strike the next person, or to go for the single or the double or whatever. Like you haven't cultivated that those skills, so now you don't even know that you're too close. You're in the danger zone, or what have you.
I have the second answer is punch them in the balls as hard as you fucking can.
As hard as you can, if at all possible.
Yeah, don't kick them. People don't know how to kick with any degree of. I mean,
no.
If you played soccer or some shit, kick them in the balls. But if you can't, just fucking as hard as you can.
I can't watch that. I'm so glad World Star died down. Because I cannot watch street fights. I'll watch UFC all day.
Yeah.
No matter how brutal it is, I'll watch it in real life. I'll watch people train and or whatever, and I'm fascinated. I love it. I love the sport of it and whatever. But watching street fights anymore, let alone in real life, like I'm not at bars like that anymore. So you know what I mean. I'm chances are I'm not gonna mathematically run across something like that. But especially even seeing the video when somebody's just out and they're getting socckered and it's I can't.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the old Pride?
Oh, tons of them,
dude. Oh, Pride with the soccer kicks. Oh
yeah.
Oh.
The first UFC I ever saw was that sumo wrestler and the black guy where he socckered him in the mouth and his tooth went flying out of the ring.
Oh, yeah, that shit is
And it was like a 220-pound weight difference.
Yeah.
Just something crazy.
Yeah.
But I can't, I don't have the stomach for that. What is that something you're born with? Because you're a funny guy. We're in comedy. I feel like I was born being silly. You know, if I was a custodian, I'd just be a funny custodian. If I worked at wherever you put me, I'm gonna be this. Thankfully, I found comedy. You know, but then there's also those people I think that were born for violence, and and maybe they don't find training or whatever. Maybe they grew up on a farm or they're Amish or something like that, and there's no real outlet for it. They just go lift the cow and body slam it from time to time or whatever. But there are certain people that can inflict damage on other people, and it's just like, yay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the like... There's you don't know what kind of psychos are out there. People that just want to see somebody bleed. Like, I remember hearing, I think it was a Tom Segura podcast where he was just like showing a video of a guy getting like run over by a truck, and I was like, oh, Why would you watch that for fun?
Yeah.
Like that to me, I'm like I enjoy seeing like high level athleticism and what the body is capable of, and watching a head kick, not the spinning back elbows. It's beautiful. It's violent and insane, but like the aspect of it where like this guy can no longer remember where they turned him off. He's factory reset now. That does nothing for me. The people who just like relish in watching that, like it, I don't know. I do feel like there's something like deeply kind of unsettling about seeing other humans getting like maimed.
I can't. I'm in my 40s, so I'm halfway to the doorstep, and I feel like that kind of stains my karma. So I don't like when I was 20 or whatever, I could just watch it all day because I was immune to everything, But these days, I definitely can't watch that kind of stuff anymore. I do question. So you have inner city America. Pick a place, and not one particular demographic, not the standard people on the south side of Chicago or nothing like that. Trailer parks, back alleys of this place, impoverished over there, impoverished here or there, right? There's a lot of aggression that comes out of that. Typically, the number one fighters across all combat sports are going to be people from impoverished situations, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if there is going to be a white guy that's the champion of whatever, he's Russian. Otherwise, it's going to be, somebody that's possibly Hispanic, somebody that's black or something like that. And 9 times out of 8, their family story is not the most optimum. It's not both parents, a brother or sister, 2 dogs, garage, great grades. It's typically not that, right?
Yeah.
How does this not carry over? Because one, it's combat. It's being physical. So all that aggression that does a lot of the times manifests itself into violence in impoverished neighborhoods. Boom, outlet. You're honing violence, right? It's not a humongous barrier to entry. Just short of $100, you have all the equipment that you're gonna need, right? And even if you don't, typically a gym is gonna have your hands are gonna stink.
Sure.
But you'll make it. Usually, from any coaches or professors that I've ever run across, they do have pity on people from the worst parts. Like, hey, all right, kid, we'll figure it out. Just whatever. Mm-hmm. How does MMA, all fields of combat sports, not find its way into these areas? Because you've talked about the benefits. I've come across the benefits before. It does turn everything down. It does take your aggression out, and now you're more balanced throughout the rest of the life. How does it not find itself into pick an Inglewood in America?
Yeah. I think there are a couple of factors.
Mm-hmm.
I think MMA specifically, and correct me if I'm not answering the question. I'm assuming that you're saying that it's confusing that it isn't more popular in these kinds of areas.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if you're somebody who's considering going into do a sport like this, I think the boxing is still the number one in that area for a lot, because the paydays are just way bigger. The prevalence of it is more. There's a pride to it that is largely tied to sort of community and country and like if you talk about like Mexican style boxing, like there is a style and there is a standard, and like people are very proud of it. And there's some of that in MMA, but I think there's just the paydays are so much lower. Like I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, hearing that the entry for the UFC, the if it's your first fight in the UFC, you're making 10 and 10. 10,000 to show, 10,000
so
to
you
win.
walk away with 11. If you win,
you walk away. You would walk away if you win. You walk away with $20,000 before paying your coach, paying your taxes.
So you're not even walking away with 11. You're walking away with 7.5 if you're lucky.
Yeah, and some of them do make pretty decent money, and sponsorships and this and that and the other. But it's not like if you're 25-0, 30-0, you're a boxer, you can make 100 million. If you're cultivated as one of these names. I don't know how much the Canelo Crawford fight is going for, but the purse has got to be insane.
Finally, a fight to actually look forward to. A legitimate boxing fight to actually look forward to.
Yeah. And I think that's a huge factor. I think there's so many other sports to choose from that have more structure around how you get into it than MMA, because MMA is like the routes that people typically take are they're in America, at least, usually highly accoladed wrestlers. Yeah. Like that's been our bread and butter as far as producing champions, with the exception of like John Jones, who came in kickboxing, but he was also still a very good wrestler.
Collegiate wrestler,
yeah. But there's few and far between that are like American kickboxers or American. So you have to have been like a decorated wrestler, which isn't a cheap sport to be good at, because even though all it takes is 2 shoes and a mat, getting any kind of good training partners, you got to travel, you got to
nutrition, weights, gym subscription. That's a lot.
Yeah. And you look at like what AAU does, you look at what like football does, like people are just more, they want to watch it more than they want to watch like wrestling or even MMA to an extent. And if somebody wants to put on an event where they just watch people bleed, they'll put on a smoker, and it's kind of like, well, we'll have boxing matches, we'll have MMA matches, we'll have whatever you want it to be, kind of so I think there's just not there's enough reasons to do something else that's gonna make you more money and be potentially less harmful on your body than MMA. And as much as I love it, I think that it is stifled by the reality that if you're trying to make it, you are running into an uphill battle monetarily.
I'd love your take on this. America, sports-wise, in 2025 stinks. I'm not sure what we're in. I know the most recent Olympics, America still walked away with the most golds. But all right, you have basketball, right?
Yep.
Created by Canadians, and then for a lot of years dominated by Black Americans, right?
Yeah.
Now, out of the top 10 players, most of them are Europeans.
Yeah.
Baseball, forget about it. I don't know the last time Americans were dominant in baseball. Everybody's some form of South American / Hispanic. Last I checked, I'm not a big baseball fan.
Slash Japanese. They've been
The Japanese are Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Forget about
Insane.
it, right?
Yeah.
Hockey, no need to even mention it. We might still have track and field on. Not even might. We still, I would assume, because I don't know where Jamaica belongs.
Kinda.
Like our vacation, our summer house.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, any of the other majors, and when it comes to fighting, forget about it. The most dominant fighter ever, my opinion, even though there's a little asterisk, does happen to be an American, but otherwise, and that's across sports. What happened to America sports-wise?
I mean, I think part of it is just the massive amount of resources we funnel into football. It's nuts how much we care about football.
I stopped thinking about
else.
football. I didn't put football in that category. I think because we're the only ones.
Yeah,
we just hone our own skills against each other for the most part. Some Samoans, but outside of that,
I mean, I think when you look at things like basketball, we don't have academies in the same way that like they do in Europe, where it's like the same team will have a kid come in at 5 years old, play through their system, and then eventually we'll get to the NBA and be like Luka Doncic. And it's like, oh well, yeah,
he's been a pro since he was like 14. That kid.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, at that point, it's a pretty even playing field because everybody has, the nutrition, the coaching. They know what levers to pull. Like, it just takes a level of talent to get there. I think structurally that makes more sense than the way that we do it, where we, it's like, all right, well, everybody is going to go play 1 year in college and then go and have a completely different coaching experience in the D League or the G League, and so like there's no continuity, and like I don't know, I see all the time that like top football players, top basketball players, top like collegiate players, they'll move to go and get better competition from like they'll move across states in high school, which is not something that's available to everybody. So if there was a system that's more like like tennis academies or soccer academies in Europe, where it's like, all right, well the top talent will be found, and then they'll like have the continuity of this system to be brought up in. Which I don't necessarily think is the right thing, because how do you know what you want to do as a kid?
I'm so envious of the kids that figure it out early and then just pour 30,000 hours into one thing and become super awesome. How do you feel about because a brown belt is, for all intents and purposes, a professional fighter, right?
Sure, yeah.
How do you feel about, and not just in combat sports, how do you feel about steroids in sports, period? Because I'm assuming you've seen steroids in your MMA journey.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean,
what did Nick and Nathan? Everybody's on steroids.
Yeah, that. I mean, when it's one easily accessible and immediately gives you a leg up, it's so
I was too
hard.
scared. I had a bro one time, one of my workout buddies, and he just on a gaff because he was asking me about it. I was like, yeah, all right, let me see what you got. And he pulled out the little vial with the characters on it, the little Asian characters on the side. Damn. And I was like, all right, so how does this work again? Here, X amount of dollars, you get a needle, you stick it in your butt. All right, let me get back to you on that. Yeah. Nice talking to you.
We're good. I'm chilling. No, I never took them. It's been something that I've been around, and I know of people that have taken them. Yeah. I know It's just, it's one of those things where, yeah, it works. No one's gonna people will be like, oh, no, it
certainly works.
But it's just off. I mean, you're kind of, depending on what you're taking, you're mortgaging your future for a cheat code right now. And I mean, I'm glad that we're at a point in time where everybody can you can tell when somebody's like so jacked that they like don't have skin anymore. They just have like bumps.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking those like early WWE wrestlers where they're like so shredded that it was confusing, or like the
Brock Lesnar is 8'13".
Yeah.
796 pounds with 3% body fat at his peak.
Yeah,
what he did to Frank Mir before Frank Mir caught him in that leg lock was insane.
Yeah. Just thrashed him about.
He charged him like Lawrence Taylor. Like it was some wide receiver coming across the middle. He just, as soon as the bell rang, he just charged the middle of the ring, but speared him on the ground. Just started raining. There's no way somebody that big is that fast.
Yeah.
And luckily Frank Mir stayed conscious, grabbed him by his leg, and did a "Hey, I know more than you" move.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was murder and mayhem.
Yeah. And I mean, there's definitely genetics that he had all the tools. Yeah, just the same person,
the exact same. He chopped off his leg at the knee, and it grew into her.
Yeah, that is a scary woman. I would cross the street.
Yeah,
I would cross the fucking street.
You serious?
Yeah.
Oh hell no, bro.
But no, I think that there's just. Did you watch? There was that documentary on Netflix about the guy who takes steroids as like a docu thing for like cycling, for amateur cycling.
No.
And he was like going through this process. And he was talking to this doctor that was actually like the anti-doping doctor for Russia.
Okay. Actually, I think I did see this a long time ago.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah. Go ahead though. I don't remember.
So it turns from this like little thing that he's doing where he's like an amateur cyclist trying to see like how much better can he get with steroids. To like, oh, Russia is cheating in the Winter Olympics and they're using very sophisticated technology to have clean tests in a way that is just like systemically insanely like high level scientists. Like they clearly poured tons of money into this. They have the KGB doing like back room. They were like, I think they cut out a wall of one of the facilities, and the whistleblower was knew all this in detail, and it's like if people are willing to go that far to be good at sports, because sports translate to like national pride, especially in Russia.
Yeah.
It's like, well, because
a ball going through a hoop or crossing a line or getting knocked into a net or going over a fence is one thing, but two people fighting and one person walking away is primal.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think that it's always, because it has to be one of the first sports. It has to be the first sport. Hitting a thing with a stick and seeing how far it can go, it was a very close runner-up.
Yeah.
But two walk in, one walks away.
Yeah.
Was first.
Yeah. It's so fucked, but there's no other. At a high level, unless people have the ability and the wherewithal to police it regularly, there's always going to be people that are just like dead set on taking every shortcut and like getting every advantage possible.
Yeah. Do you? I don't know. I would be interested if there was an all steroid league for whatever, pick a sport. I mean, the sports where people can't really get hurt like that, like baseball or soccer. I don't even know if they would use it for soccer or whatever like that. But those ones don't. But for boxing, for MMA or anything like that, that's when it's like sketchy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you take John Jones. Do I think that he had a little bit more than a picogram? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But at the same time, it's going to help his recovery, help him to go farther in the gym. But you don't do the things John was doing in the ring. With the steroids doesn't do that. Steroids doesn't make Lyoto Machida do a hopping front kick.
No.
With that timing or anything like that, you know?
No. What steroids does do is it makes it so you can get out of bed the day after. Like, you're on week 6 of an 8-week training camp and you're at the peak and you're just like, I never want to feel anything again. Like, you take a shot of that, your muscles recover, you're right back in there.
Matt burns, stinging because you're in the shower.
Everything hurts.
Everything hurts.
That was probably the biggest appeal for me. It was just like, so you're saying I could take this and I can do my 4 hours of training and then my extra hour of running and then my extra hour of lifting and not feel like absolute garbage by the end of the week? That sounds pretty sick.
Sounds pretty sick. I was just going to take this fish oil pill.
Yeah.
But that sounds way better.
They keep saying creatine is good. What about androgen? I feel like that might be a little better.
Some hemp tea?
Yeah. Fuck off.
Oh my God, Nick, this has been amazing. I could talk to you because it's hard. Kind of going back to what we were saying before. It's not it's still pretty niche somehow. So I'm always looking for somebody I can vibe out with on MMA stuff because I'm an MMA junkie nerd. And so it's fantastic being able to find somebody to talk to. Do me a favor. Let people know how they can find you, what you got going on, man. You're blowing up on the scene lately. I see you all over the place. I'm hearing good things about you on the streets. So please tell people where they can find you.
Thanks so much, Nick. I appreciate it. I'm at Nick Emeka Comedy on Instagram, spelled Emeka. You can find me on YouTube as well, same name. And we're doing shows all around the Midwest, so give us a follow.
Hell yeah. Nick Emeka, from handed down by his African ancestor. And I am Mike Knight Comedy on all the things. R.A.P podcast on all the things. I will try and start remembering the episodes, but isn't that half the fun? Keep tuning in. If you guys made it this far, please like, share, subscribe. Check out Nick. He's tremendous. I told him before the camera started rolling, he's somebody you meet once, he automatically stands out of your mind. You'll never forget this guy. It's the same for his comedy. Please tune in. R.A.P podcast. My next week is filthy, folks. It's just going to be back to back episodes. So stay tuned in. Got a lot of content on the way. Been Mike Knight, Nick Emeka, R.A.P podcast. Love you guys. Peace.